finance leader, you need to make sure that you have a high-performing team to help you with all of the strategies that you want to implement within the business. It also helps the business maximize growth and minimize risk. So how do you build high-performing team within startups or scale-ups? That is what we're going to go through today. Hi, my name's Alysha Randall and I am a fractional CFO and also train new and aspiring finance leaders within startups and scale-ups. If this is you, perfect, you're at the right place. Please hit subscribe. I do talk about how to be a strong finance leader within startups or scale-ups, and I release a video every single week. So hit that subscribe button and you will get all those resources. So the first way to kind of manage your team and encourage that high performance, the first one is obviously to hire the right talent. So you want to make sure that there is a cultural fit with the candidates that you bring on. You want them to make sure that they are akin to company's values and also that they'll fit in with the company's culture. Ideally, you want to find individuals that have that right mix of technical skill and industry knowledge, but sometimes you may also just want to hire for potential rather than extensive expertise. So it's finding that right balance for the role and with the candidates. Number 2 is clear roles and responsibilities. So you want to clearly outline each team member needs to understand what they have ownership, what their responsibility is. This encourages the team to ensure that they're not confused with what they should be doing, and there's no overlaps within the team as well. You ideally want to set those expectations, so establishing the performance expectations right from the beginning. So personally, I use onboarding plans and regular check-ins. So there's whenever you've got a person within the team, they know exactly what they should be doing, they know exactly what they should be striving for, and you can have those regular feedback conversations where you can give both good and constructive feedback so they know that they're at where they should be. Number 3 is continuously learning and development. So you don't want people just to be working for you and just smashing out tasks. You want them to grow with the business. And one way of encouraging that is that continuous learning and development. So definitely invest in training programs, invest in that ongoing training to really keep those skills current. For example, we have a management accounts mini course. It's to take basically your boring 3 financial statement monthly management accounts up to that next level. And so then that you will really, as a team, impress founders, impress the leadership team, impress boards and investors. You may also want to look at mentorship. So you can either encourage senior team members across the business to mentor the more junior ones, to kind of foster that culture of continuous improvement, or you can encourage looking outside the business and finding a mentor that's suitable, particularly for your 2IC or your second in charge. Fostering collaboration. So the last thing you want is a finance function that doesn't talk to anyone outside finance. So you really want to open communication and channels across departments. So really encourage that open communication. Also team building activities. So, obviously encouraging team building activities, both within finance, but also across. You can also look at, say, that management level. So everyone that is at that management level, kind of encourage those relationships across the business. Number 5 is encouraging innovation and initiative. So you really want to empower your team. You really want to give them either the autonomy to make decisions, but also take that initiative. You don't always want to be the person that comes up with the ideas or areas that need to be looked at or things that need to be improved. It's lovely when you have a team that do that as well. And you really find that you get so much more out of that because the whole department is being reviewed, and also they'll come up with things that you've never even thought of or even knew about. Rewarding that creativity, so really recognizing and rewarding those innovative ideas and solutions kind of encourages people to take that initiative. After onboarding, you also want to set clear goals and KPIs, particularly SMART goals. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, if you haven't heard of those before, rather than just a high level of you need to be better. So really make them much more specific so that they can understand what they're trying to achieve. It's all well and good setting those goals. Ideally, you want to then review those goals. So having those regular performance reviews, tracking the process, and any issues they're having or concerns or confusions, you kind of address them quite properly. Number 7 is leveraging technology. So obviously there is a huge amount of technology. It's always growing. It's always new things. So utilizing advanced financial software to kind of streamline processes and improve efficiency. Obviously, talking in 2024, I'm talking about software, AI, technology all the time. I did do a finance tech stack recommendations that I update every 6 months because this is always moving. So if you want to look at suggestions, I'll take a look at that. But essentially, first step is improving the process. Second step is implementing software that can automate elements of that process. It means that your team become more efficient and also more accurate. So really make sure that you leverage technology. Number 8 is creating a positive work environment. Of course, you want people to enjoy their work for a big chunk of their week. So you really want to foster supportive and inclusive work culture. It is stemmed from the top, so you need to make sure that you're all over it. But also you want to encourage a really healthy work-life balance to prevent burnout. You shouldn't be WhatsApping your team after hours. You shouldn't encourage them to work on the weekends. You should encourage them to take holidays that are allocated rather than rolling them over all the time. So really encourage that healthy work-life balance. And then finally, number 9 is that effective leadership. So lead by example. Part of that cultural, part of that healthy work-life balance, you also need to be nice to people, be inclusive, be approachable, stay away from politics, take holidays when you should, leave the office at 6 o'clock and say, oh, I'm going to dinner, see you guys later. If you are demonstrating the behavior that you want your team to have, then it's a great way of encouraging that kind of behavior. But also you want to be supportive. You want to be available to provide that guidance and support when needed. You want to be able to have that kind of culture where your team, even if they don't report to you directly, will come to you and discuss any concerns that they may have, whether that's within the business, within their own abilities, or something they've noticed within from a business or commercial perspective. So really focusing on these ideas, you can then, you're on a good stead to build a high performance finance team that kind of drives that success and helps maximize growth and minimize risk within a startup or scale up. So they are my recommendations. I use all of those tips with my team directly, but also with the teams that I support within the startups that I work with. And they all work. As I mentioned at the beginning, please subscribe if you are an accountant and keen to become a finance leader within a startup or scale up. I have a huge amount of resources available that you can access, so I'll leave links for those below. Otherwise, I will see you next week in next week's video. Cheers.